Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the Overwatch Studios. My name is Dan Harkins and I welcome you to my new channel. This channel's primary focus is to bring Overwatch content from the console player perspective. Now I know there's a lot of content creators out there with YouTube channels focused on Overwatch, but I noticed that a good majority of these are for the PC, which makes sense since this was built pretty much aimed at the PC crowd, but there's the few of us who are playing this on the PlayStation 4 or playing this on the Xbox One, and I wanted to see the gameplay from that perspective. So, what will we be focusing on when it comes to the videos that are going to be on this channel? Well, one, I want to bring competitive gameplay. It's probably one of the most, I would say, important game modes next to quick play. A lot of people play it, and it doesn't play that much different from the PC, albeit the aiming is a little bit different. But I want to focus on that, go over different strategies, my thoughts. So I kind of broke it down to this. We're going to have commentaries where I just talk about the game, what's going on, maybe some stuff in real life, but I really don't want to do too much of that. Real life is already depressing and boring, but there may be interesting subjects that are going on that I might want to cover. But my main focus is the actual gameplay. What can we do to get better? What needs to be done for Overwatch to get better? And I may have just videos of just a competitive game with no actual commentary. Then that might change in the future if I decide to start streaming and put streaming videos on the YouTube channel. But at this point, until I actually build a subscriber base, it's pointless to start streaming because no one's going to watch it. And that can also apply to YouTube. This is a new channel. No one may never watch this shit. And I might just be talking to myself again, just like my last channel, which has a lot of robot subscribers, I think, but there's a few humans on there. So, with this, let's jump into the topic of the day. Hanzo. Everyone loves Hanzo, right? Well, based on the message I get when I pick Hanzo, I would assume that no one likes this guy on their team at all. And he has a stigma of being like an anchor who doesn't do anything that helps anybody because it's so difficult to get those shots with Hanzo. That's the issue here, people. Let's just focus on it. Aiming with Hanzo is a problem. If you can't get those hits, you're not doing your job as Hanzo. However, you can get some impact frags while you're playing as Hanzo. And I think those kind of outweigh the inaccuracies if you're missing your shots. Like, on average, I sit around 25 to 27% accuracy. I try to shoot for something higher, but sometimes I can't get to it at this point in time. It's unfortunate, but I just can't do it. I'm trying. Maybe I'll get up to 50, 60, but for Hanzo, it's really hard for me to get past that because you're spamming a lot of shots, especially in like close range like this. I'm just trying to get any shot, and it's really difficult to get the accuracy needed for Hanzo. But you can still be useful as Hanzo. Does this make sense? Probably not. So let's kind of break it down. I may miss 10 shots, but if I can land 3 or 4 shots that take out a healer, I really don't care if I missed 10 shots before. The healer's down. Now the enemy team doesn't have a healer. Take out a Pharah. Yay. A Pharah's already difficult enough to take out on the console because people can't aim up. That's if you PC players are watching this, console players cannot look up. Looking up is like a foreign subject to them. Explaining looking up is like explaining a vagina to a gay man. It's just foreign. It's like, what the fuck is it? How do we do it? You just look up. It's really difficult. Fuck, come on, guys. But I like Hanzo. I think he has a place in the meta because his ultimate is great for clearing out a point, creating space for your team to fight in, and that's kind of where he focuses in. And if you pair that with, say, a Graviton Surge or a May Freeze, and people actually get frozen, you can do a lot of damage. But the main thing people need to learn playing Hanzo is just getting those shots, getting the crucial shot with Hanzo is important. Prioritizing your targets. When I play, I try to take out the healers, and I also try to take out the more annoying people. Like right now, it's like healers, Zarya / Pharah, because I see a lot of Pharah on the console because she's very annoying, and a lot of people that pick McCree or Soldier just can't seem to kill Pharah for some magical reason. They can't hit her, and we end up losing. Now, this game, competitive wise, is low gold. I went from 30-50 to around 21-68 because I made a lot of bad decisions, and maybe I played Hanzo when I probably shouldn't have because I wasn't at the point where I was really good enough with Hanzo. Currently, I actually feel pretty confident picking Hanzo, and how I ended up playing Hanzo is the issue with Overwatch. Playing this solo queue, here's the issue we have, and I think this applies to all platforms, PC, PS4. People will auto-lock DPS or offense characters. They'll pick the Reaper, Soldier, Pharah, whatnot, and then they'll do a really good job of not hitting anything. Now, Season 1, and for a good portion of Season 2, when I ranked up to 30-50, I played as Zenyatta and Lucio. Those were my primary heroes that I selected because they have such an impact for carrying teams. Now, your team's still going to have to be somewhat solid, but you could make a difference. But as a support player, and anyone who primarily plays support, Mercy, Ana, Lucio, you just know when your team isn't doing what they need to do, and it gets frustrating. I pick support because I want to help my team. I want to heal them. I don't want to lose. That's the whole thing. I don't want to lose. I want to win. I want to do everything. And that's where Zenyatta, I like him because he can weaken enemies to help kill them, and he can heal, and his ultimate is a good fuck you to a Reaper's Death Blossom. Unless he's nano boosted, then it actually doesn't matter. Everyone's gonna die. That's just a fact. So how do we end up at Hanzo? How do we end up at this meme-like character who just has a stigma of just being terrible? Well, as playing a support character, I would notice there would be annoying Pharahs, annoying DPS that would constantly be harassing the back lines who were not being taken out. Like, no one's doing any DPS, there's no picks. I would look at the kill feed and just see my team getting murdered with no trade out. No one was dying, and it was frustrating, especially as Zenyatta. If I'm discording people, I'm shooting them, and they're not going down because there's no focus fire. No one's even trying to kill anybody. I mean, that's an understatement. People are trying, they just suck at it. Overwatch has this issue where everyone wants to flock to be a DPS character in the competitive mode, but they don't know how to play that character, and they don't get any type of real value out of playing that person. They just suck. Now, when I play Hanzo, I would say probably 9 out of 10 games, I do well. I do my job. I kill the people that need to die. I create the space. Maybe, get a team wipe every once in a while if the Zarya, cooperates. But what I will get is a message. I'll get a message from someone, say they pick who I primarily get messages from people that play Pharah. I don't fucking know why, but they'll always say, hey, can you play a support? Don't play Hanzo. Don't play this person. Don't play that. Okay. Maybe this person knows what they're doing, and we could fill that support role. I'll pick that support role. And as the game progresses, what I notice is that Pharah isn't doing anything. She's trickling in, she dies immediately, she's constantly spawning, and she isn't eliminating any of the enemies. What's worse is when you have someone who's telling you to switch that's playing Soldier or McCree, and the Pharah harasses your team the whole goddamn time, and no one takes that bitch out. And it's in those cases where I just switch back to Hanzo. I don't care, you can send me every hateful message, but I'm gonna get those eliminations. I'm gonna kill enough people. I'm gonna win the game because you couldn't do your job. So I have a very, very special breakdown. It's like this. I pick Hanzo. You tell me to switch to support because you're gonna do a great DPS. I switch because I'm cooperative like that, guys. Then you don't do your job. I switch back to Hanzo and I send you a message saying suck my dick. That's just how it is, people. Play Hanzo. You ask me to switch. I switch. You don't do your job. I switch back to Hanzo and I send you a message saying suck my dick. I'll put something up on the screen so we all know how that course goes, but that's what it's like right now. You shouldn't shot call if you can't play your character right. And people will blame every loss on everyone except them. I'm not one of those people. I've made mistakes. I've made bad calls. It's going to happen. I just own up to it. Like I said, 9 to 10 games. There's that one game as Hanzo where just nothing's working and I'm impacting the game severely. And if that is the case, I will typically switch to someone else that I'm comfortable with. But it's rare that I get those games. As I'm currently at 2700, I'm still not having that much of an issue. It may get harder at that higher plat, lower diamond tier. Maybe it doesn't work out. But until it doesn't work out, I kind of have Hanzo as like a back pocket, DPS. We need to kill everything. I need to win the game. And I have a very good example of this. Last night, I played 8 games. 3 games I didn't play as Hanzo. I played as a support to try to help the team win. We lost those 3 games. We lost those 3 games because of the main issue. DPS who can't do their job. What happens in the other games? I switch to Hanzo. I win because people are dying. I'm taking out the healers. And that's where Hanzo excels. And maybe this should be a topic for another video, but I just want to address it. If you're going to pick a character, if you're going to auto-lock immediately, go to that character, know how to use that character. Especially in the competitive gameplay. Now, there are going to be those times where I make this exception where just shit's not going right. No one's doing anything, there's no communication, and you might have to pick a character to try and carry the game, and it might not be someone you're super familiar with. For me, it's Reinhardt. I don't know how I feel about Reinhardt. I've been playing him a little bit more to get more familiar, to get better, because there are times where your team, we need a tank. We need someone to tank the damage, to fucking protect the team. I will switch to that person, but I can tell you, most of those times where I have to switch to Reinhardt because no one's doing anything right, I'm not doing anything right, we lose. Because no one's doing anything right. But the majority of matches, if I pick someone, I feel confident that I can fill that role and do it well. But I don't want to get in a predicament where there's like 4 people playing roles that they can't play, and I can't just switch through all of them. And when those instances happen, it's a bad time for me. There's a lot of losing because I'm trying to fill 4 roles. I'm switching from Winston, Ana, Lucio, Soldier, Reaper. I'm going all over the place instead of focusing on who I'm good with, because the team that I'm on isn't working together as they could have. Now, in the solo queue meta, it's probably not that big of a deal because everyone kind of goes off and does whatever they want, but I can tell you that most of the people that are ranking up are playing by themselves, and that's where this video comes into play. I want to show that you can go from solo queue, you can rise up the ranks. I'll put up a video here shortly The next video I really want to focus on is what needs to happen in Season 3, guys. There is definitely something that needs to change for the next season to make it make sense and not to be as brutal as it is in this current season. But at this point, it looks like this game is coming to an end. And my first video on Overwatch Studios is primarily done. So what I want to say to anyone who took the time to watch this, if you enjoyed it, I appreciate it that I could entertain you for 15 plus minutes. If you enjoyed the content, what's that thing that everyone says? Oh, you can subscribe to this shit, you can like it. If you don't like it, well then obviously dislike it and let me know what you fucking hated about it, you ungrateful piece of shit. And that's how Dan Harkins takes care of these channels. So as always, I'll be back and hopefully have some more information, some more gameplay. I again, really truly do appreciate everything anyone watches. Now check that gold, just rising up that gold, guys.